Welcome, race fans, back to SVR Racing. We are at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain, for the seventh round of the S2 Championship. My name is Webbo. I'm very pleased to be here with you all as usual, and this is how our championship looks in S2 after six racing rounds of action. So we are entering halfway through this race. We'll be entering the halfway point of our season, of course, but Empire with 2 wins and back-to-back podiums every single race so far leads our championship on 105 points. But V8's momentum is slowly building from 2 third places to a second to 2 back-to-back wins. He is slowly but surely reaching Empire's level of point accrual so far in the season on 86 points. Jose Luis Cervantes has 79 points and is in that third position with 4 podiums himself as well. Liquid Gecko is in 4th on 44 points and is joint on points score so far with Vice, who is showing in 5th due to having 2 fewer races with us. Run DMC is 6th on 39 points, only 1 point ahead of AMAC on 38, with Nintendo in 8th on 36. Again, 1 point only separating Nintendo and Jailhouse Chris in 9th place. John Pauly has 33 points in 10th with Lurkin Lou on 30. Christo has 22, having got back-to-back 11-point scores. I think that's a 4th place or a 5th place for both races on 22 that he has entered. And kind of the opposite situation in terms of races held for Enigma, excuse me, has 17 and missed the last 2. Fun Size has 14. Sleepwalker is in 14th. Sorry, Sleepwalker is in 15th, and Sir Grinch has 3 points total in the championship as well. In the team standings here in S2, Mega Racing lead on 144 points from Delesi's 138, with Brokaga also in 3 figures in 3rd place. Buckstein Racing and Kimmy's are in 4th and 5th, with JPI and Coach Dave bringing up the rear at the current point in our season. Let's go to the track side here at Circuit de Catalunya and see exactly how things shaped up for qualifying. Well, big surprise to see Vice at the back of the grid here in qualifying in 13th position. We have alongside him, well, 1 place above him, I should say, only, is his teammate Kelvin for JPI. We have the Brokaga team represented by Lucas de Brusque in 11th, with Coach Dave Delta and Apex Specs in 10th place. John P. And thank you to John P for being the only one to share the race that I could see on my page anyway. But John P qualifying in 9th place for Delesi, with Coach Dave again, Jailhouse Chris in 8th place. Brokaga and Sir Grinch qualifying in 7th place. And then it is an all Buckstein Transport Service row 3 with Nintendo paired with Run DMC. Empire, the surprise really here to start in 4th place, but on the racing hard tyres. So I will just check out everybody's hard choices. We've got AMAC in 3rd. He's also on the hard tyre, with Christo in 2nd place, and V8 Eater, the Mega Racing team drivers, who are both starting on the mediums. So an interesting one. Of course, the qualifying choice, it will be soft tyres for all the drivers, hard tyres and all tyre compounds available during the race, and no tie to their qualifying positions. So this is just out and out decision making situation for the drivers. Just the one Kimmy's car today, unfortunately, but everybody else is represented with 2 drivers, and we're ready to get underway then for this feature race, 33 lapper around the Circuit de Catalunya. V8 Eater and Christo will hope to own the first 2 corners and block any advances here in the 7th race of the championship. And it is drop the clutch and go. Slight hesitation possibly from V8 Eater away from the start, but it's Christo going side by side with him, and V8 Eater holding the outside line unusually down in towards turn 1. Here he goes in, and there's a sweeping move coming across from Christo over the front wing of Empire, and we've got the Buckstein Transport Service car of Nintendo going a little bit wide from the outset, losing places down to 5th place, but not too bad, using a little bit of boost to gain positions as they go through the next sequence of corners. This is turn 4 as they head downhill then into a potential overtaking opportunity into turn 5. But at the moment, things are looking fairly straightforward. Unfortunately, though, Sir Grinch has gone long into the corner. Let's see what happens with Sir Grinch here as he goes around. He's got a Kimi's car on the inside line, and I think that is just running out of brakes, unfortunately, for Sir Grinch there on the medium tyres as well. And then a spear across the circuit directly in the path of his teammate. Lucas de Brus picked up a 2-second penalty. That's very harsh from the outset, but V8 Eater and Christo go down the back straight in first and second positions, with Empire some distance behind here, still trying to warm up those hard tyres. And then you can see brake fade going on as he tries to get back into some kind of racing line. Run DMC on the hard tyres seems to have generated a little bit more grip, or at least anticipated the loss of grip slightly better. And we've got Coach Dave, we've got Jailhouse Chris getting a bit of a snap coming on out of the slower corners here in the 3rd sector of the racetrack, before they then build the speed through turns 13 and 14, going very wide indeed. And then we can see at the front of the grid, you've got the 2 Mega Racing drivers on the medium tyres getting away beautifully, and starting to gap here Empire and Run DMC. Everything going perfectly to plan, I think, for the lead 2, who are on presumably the same starting strategy at very least. Jailhouse Chris is in 7th. Apex Specs is in 8th position. So Coach Dave holding on to that midfield positions at the moment, and able to perhaps run in each other's wake slightly. AMAC in the Kimi's Racing Team Ferrari powered SF23 is running in P9. We've got John P for Delesi with the Lewis Hamilton helmet there in P10, and behind him we've got Sir Grinch, who had an issue at the start. Lucas de Brusque, who I think has possibly fitted new tyres, but Sir Grinch certainly has damage on his car, managed to get back past Lucas de Brusque. And this is really going very, very wrong indeed for our Brokaga teammates at the start here, and it's in the same sector as it was for Sir Grinch earlier, so probably a problem on the setup here. Lucas de Brugge trying to get back onto track, will engage first gear and then immediately get a huge snap and ruin his front wing as Vice goes through as well. So things not going very well at all as V8 Eater pushes very hard. I hope he made it round the corner. He did manage to make it round the corner, getting those tyres all dirty. Empire, it seems, struggling on the hard tyres. He has got Run DMC right behind him. Empire feeling the need at this early stage of the race to use that boost that is available to him, but it is an ever decreasing amount of push to pass boost that is available to the drivers. Of course, a fixed amount, as it also looks like Nintendo in the Buckstein Transport car just behind this one, feeling the need to go defensive, as we've got another bright yellow helmet. That's Kelvin the Boss this time, the Canadian, for Jamplacht. A little bit of a four-wheel drift going through turn 2 in towards turn 3 at the moment, and Jailhouse Chris is right there as well. So that is how things are looking at this point on lap 3 of the 33. Fixed lap race for the drivers, not a time count, but we aim for around 50 minutes here in S2. But right now, at least, it looks like things are going very smoothly for Mega Racing at the head of the field. V8 Eater ahead of Christo. Empire in 3rd place, leading the championship and having to now think about driving for the championship rather than out-and-out win counts. He has a buffer, but of course he needs to maximise any bad day that he might be suffering. And we've heard from Empire, of course, in detail about his season so far in the SVR Into the Slipstream podcast, of which he is the host. And we thank him for giving up some practice time to actually make that podcast happen as well. A great tight battle going on then for P4 overall, P4 through P8. That is the Kelvin the Boss in the Jamplacht. Sorry, this is for 5th place. Nintendo chasing down hard, but has a half-second penalty. We've got Kelvin the Boss getting a nice overtake, using a little bit of the boost there, I think, to make the overtake happen. But he himself has got a off-track penalty as well to pay for. Half a second isn't a great deal in these highly powered SF23s. That will be taken off him from the throttle map between turn 9 and turn 10. Again, a little bit of a snap going on, so clearly the car's not feeling happy just yet. Set up possibly for the long medium tyre run, and Kelvin the Boss with a huge snap on the way out of turn 5. That is becoming what a great spin turn actually from Kelvin the Boss, but that is becoming a real habit now. That's three cars who have all spun coming out of turn 5. Very low grip and a slight miscalculation from Kelvin the Boss. So Grinch will extend his sympathies, but only as far as it allows him to gain a position, as Lucas the Brusque is in the pits as well. Kelvin the Boss has got front wing damage, and thankfully for him at least, started on the soft tyres. And oh, that's a fairly large and heavy amount of lag there for Sir Grinch to deal with. He'll be hoping that the Jann Placked Interiors car heads on into the pits. One of these two cars is suffering pretty intense amounts of glitch and server lag here. So Grinch on the inside, leaving a fair amount of margin for error. So I feel it's possibly Kelvin the Boss, or at least his connection through to John P at the moment, as Lucas the Brusque at the back of the grid on those fresher hard tyres. Here is V8 Eater. He's pushing the limit here, trying to build the gap. He's got a 1:21.4, the fastest lap overall, as our race leader tries to do his level best here to build the gap that he needs on the softer compound versus Empire. That is where his focus will be at the moment, of course, as well as his teammate, but seems to have a pace advantage over Christo at this stage. Both drivers extending their position then as 1-2 in the grid order. Empire in P3, as it looks like the lead two are starting to catch a driver to put a lap on them already, who admittedly has already been lapped, but it's only lap 5 of the 33. Empire just ahead of Run DMC, and this one really starting to heat up between both hard tyre runners who are in this stint for the long haul. They're on heavy with fuel and planning to go as long as possible, I think, while those hard tyres remain useful. Now, blue flags are flying, and that is very odd on the circuit. I think they are being left out after the mega drivers are passing a lapped car, but that is a long way that the drivers will be starting to question why the blue flags are being flown. Run DMC slower through that first sector, and then almost losing it on the marbles on the outside, on that green painted surface on the outside of turn 3, which I think will be called the Alonso corner very soon in years to come. Apex Specs in P5 is some distance away, and he has his teammate most immediately behind him, who himself is now starting to gain a great deal of attention in his mirrors from the AMAC, who is flying the stars and stripes, I've just noticed, on his mandated camera on top of the engine box. I've not seen anybody decorate that section with their own country flag before. AMAC running around the outside. We've got Nintendo, who lost out there with the contact into the barrier. He's got that front wing damage, but on the medium tyre, doesn't want to pit too early. He may have to, though, given his times that may be just too slow with the damage on the car. He's running currently 3 seconds slower than V8 Eater has managed so far, and very recently. John P in P9 at the moment, with Sir Grinch running in P10, some distance again ahead of Kelvin the Boss, who was pitted off those soft tyres and will be careful on the way out of turn 5, I'm sure, from now on throughout the course of this race, especially when he's got the low grip portions of the tyre. Kelvin the Boss going sideways slightly. I think we are struggling throughout the field with a bit of lag here on the replay, but we will do our level best for you. Vice in 12th, Lucas the Brusque then at the back in 13th position, but V8 Eater, I think, has already lapped Lucas. He has. He's the length of the back straight ahead. This is V8 Eater back in black for Mega Transport here, back for the European Daylight race here after 2 back-to-back night races that we've had, where we enjoyed seeing the chrome design of the Mega Transport cars. VAT leading the race ahead of his teammate by some 8 or 9 seconds at this stage, I think, as they come through out of the final corner. That's a 1:23.0 for Christo. VAT setting a 1:21.1 overall fastest, and some distance in terms of speed ahead of his teammate. Empire running a 23.9 that previous lap, but his very best so far is only a 23.3, holding on as much as possible to that overtake boost, but he'd be mindful that Run DMC does not manage to get past him. Blue flags in operation as they pass Sir Grinch, and then of course Empire having to go very defensive as Run DMC tries to capitalise on that opportunity as they head down towards turn 5. Run DMC are all over the back of Empire here. Can't quite make out what he's got on his slow and steady. I think he's got on the dash area of his SF23. He's going to be suffering enhanced tyre wear, enhanced tyre slip as he gets the dirty air so close to Empire. So he either needs, I think, to make a boost-powered overtake, and that was a yellow flag, a hesitation, I think, from Empire. Possible contact between the two of them. Perhaps we should just go back and have another look at that, because we're taking very different lines. There was a yellow flag in operation. I think a hesitation possibly from Empire, and I think, no, did avoid any actual contact between the two of them. And Empire then continues in that 3rd position, but really is not enjoying life on the hard tyres at this stage. The cars looking amazing in the sunshine. Of course, these white cars never look quite so bright as when we get some Spanish sun on here. Certainly, it looks like the Jamplak's weaving around a little bit as Empire tries to gain some slipstream effect. Run DMC couldn't follow him directly through. Quite at the right level of racing speed, but no one suffering any particular issues on the way through there. Here's the battle at the moment for that 6th position. AMAC crowding round the outside, round the inside, making a nuisance of himself in the mirrors from Jailhouse Chris. AMAC looping around that turn 3, running out wide thanks to the dirty air. And again, needing to just feather the throttle. Doesn't want to be off track on full throttle, because you will pick up prodigious off-track limit penalties here quite easily. He'll be wary of dirty tyres on the way out of turn 5 as well. But AMAC just drifting back away from Jailhouse Chris's 6th position. John P is within sight here, but possibly just able to avoid the dirty air effect. Back to AMAC, who in the middle sector of the race has managed to re-catch Jailhouse Chris to a great extent down into turn 10. Might be in striking distance on the long start-finish straight. This is lap 9 of the 33. Our first scheduled pit stops still have not been brought in. Big slide from AMAC, but he just about stops the rot too much, but that ruins his chance, unfortunately, at an overtake on the Coach Dave car. Run DMC still behind Empire, but by a greater degree. Looks like Run DMC with a poor lap, a 24.2 after a 24.6. Empire managing to make a 23.9 now as the hard tyres start to come into a comfortable operating window. We may be looking at a 1-stop here today with the medium tyres so far on a full tank of fuel, running a good 1/3 race distance, I think. So they might be able to actually run the hard tyre for 2/3 of the race distance, or at least a half of the race distance. The question, though, is when those laps will start to those lap times will start to drop off, and that was a worse lap then from VAT, who's starting to manage the tyre situation, running well over the curbs on the dirty part of the racetrack on the approach to turn 1. That is a little bit risky. Let's see if Christo is any more careful. No, he's going super wide on the curbs as well, unbothered by the potential for enhanced tyre usage, especially on that left side of the car. The front left is the limited tyre with these long looping right-hand turns that really stress the front left tyre, of course, more than any other. The drivers will be dialing their brake balance as far back as they can comfortably manage, and V8 Eater certainly apex eating at the difficult turn 8 through turn 9, and he is not managing the tyre through turn 9 at all. He is absolutely full bore here as he approaches 2 more drivers to go to put a lap on them. A little bit of throttle spin, throttle turn at the apex of turn 10. So again, trying to use those rear tyres to the best usage you possibly can. Be wary of some dirty air as a driver pits in front of him. Both drivers pit in front of him, in fact, and he will then have a little pulse on the overtake. Not a lot, just a little bit to help with the pre-gear change torque engagement. Through goes Christo as well, running a similar, but actually holding that overtake a lot longer is Christo. 22.9 versus V8 Eater's 22.1 that time round, and Empire operating quite close now in lap time at 23.1. So the crossover point, it seems, for the medium tyres is coming around this 12th lap, at least with heavy fuel loads. Coming out of the pit lane is a Coach Dave car just behind or alongside it for a moment there of Run DMC. He's running in the 23.3s at this stage, and a personal best lap from Run DMC. So it does look like after 12 laps the medium tyres are not as good as the hard tyre, but how much deeper will the drivers plan to go on the mediums then, as we've got a triplicate of hard tyre runners in 3rd, 4th and 5th positions. Nintendo is now on the mediums, has still not stopped or repaired that front wing damage, so he will feel like a completely different car when he gets serviced in the pit lane. AMAC still chasing down Nintendo, still looking ragged, AMAC, and still hasn't quite got the car underneath him. I think we'll be searching for some better setup options over a race distance, because clearly the car very twitchy, very hard to drive for AMAC at the moment. John P running in P8, started a little bit lower than that, but at the moment at least on the hard tyres running to the same strategy as his team leader Empire. So Grinch in P9 continues through, and Kelvin the Boss runs in P10 on the catch-up here after an early excursion off the racetrack through that difficult exit of turn 5. Apex Specs for Coach Dave is running in 11th place, and then we have Vice in 12th. I'm surprised to see Vice struggle here, but this is one of those tracks that certainly from my perspective is a bit of a bogey track, a difficult one to get a feel for. So sometimes tracks just disagree with drivers' driving style, and they struggle to switch on there. Lucas getting a little bit tail happy through turn 4. I would say sign of the tyres letting go, as V8 Eater decides after 13 laps to come on into the pits. I wonder if his teammate will be coming in at the same point. Looks like he's used his tyres a little bit less here, Christo. Let's see, as he will head towards the final corner. No, V8 Eater is the sole pit stopper of Team Mega on this 13th, end of 13th lap, start of 14th lap. So Christo now our new leader on lap 14, as V8 Eater is finished in the pits, but Empire will pass him, I feel fairly certain. Will he? Let's have a look. No, it looks like V8 Eater had an entire pit stop gap after 14 laps over Empire. Now that is a big surprise for me. That is Empire, then his heart will sink to see the car come out of the pits. If his engineer is following the progress of V8 Eater, who is his main rival in the championship at the halfway point of our season now, Empire will be concerned if he wasn't already at the pace of V8 Eater, knowing of course that he gets to use the softer compound tyre later in the race, Empire, but V8 Eater has built an entire pit stop gap over his main championship rival and has now gone onto the hard tyre. I'm wondering if he will go for the full remainder of the race, but only half a tank of fuel. V8 Eater has refueled by. I don't have the information from Hector live on this particular race in order to tell me how much fuel he has and when it's due to run out. But yeah, V8 Eater on the hard tyres now with half a tank of fuel, maybe looking to get all the way home. Christo still not heading into the pit lane, still on the medium tyres from the start. This is pretty good from Christo in terms of tyre preservation. Empire still on the hard tyres and still having to lap cars. You can see the blue flag being waved. I think that's the car most immediately in front of V8 Eater there in the bright Spanish sun. The 999 chasing down one of the number 35 cars. They're both wearing the 35 are the Jan Placht Interiors cars to date. So I think a livery update needed as V8 Eater comes through, and then obviously Empire and Run DMC will find their way to close in on that gap. Here is Jailhouse Chris. Again, same strategy as Empire and Run DMC, as is AMAC as well. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th positions. AMAC running out that wide line, that Alonso line through turn 3. Nintendo is doing a great job here, I think, with at this stage, with the damage on the front wing, to hang on to the hard tyre runner's pace in front of him on this very heavily used medium tyre. Christo pits then with 44 litres of fuel remaining on the car. Let's see what he decides to go for. I'm sure he'll go for the hard tyres here if he has chosen the same strategy as V8 Eater, who retakes the lead of the race. I'm sure Empire will go through into 2nd and Run DMC, and they both do exactly that. And Nintendo then closing in on the back of AMAX Kimi's Racing Team purple Ferrari powered SF23. Bergstein Transport Service here back into the white and teal fan favourite livery, which is great to see. But we decide that now is the time to pit. No, Nintendo is hanging on out there on the medium tyres, and I'm kind of confused by this. With the damage on the front wing, why stay on the medium tyre while you've got a pace deficit on the front wing? But I'm sure he has his plan. John P in 8th place, running and using some of that overtake at this stage of the race, although he's not having to defend or attack at this point. So Grinch hanging on to a lot of his overtake tank, as it were, in P9 at the moment, and has the hard tyres strapped onto his Bro Cargo car. Good to see Bro Cargo in S2 have aligned their liveries today. This looks to be Christo putting a lap on Apex Specs. Again, Apex Specs probably he's reserving here, I think, for Coach Dave. Usually is a GT3 driver, so this is going to be an interesting conversion for him between the two race weekends. Big slide in the number 17 then for Apex Specs, as Weiss is running in that 11th place, not too far away actually from Apex Specs' 10th place, and I'm sure it'd be absolutely love to try and start battling for a top 10 finish. Lucas the Bruskin 12th, leading Kelvin the Boss in 13th place, and there you can see the 35 on the nose, as V8 Eater is on the hard tyres, has managed to put in a 23.3 and a 22.7 on those hard tyres. I'm just going to check out Christo's fuel load here. Well, he has put a similar amount of fuel, so I would imagine, unless they're going to two-stop this and run the softs at the end of the race, that it is a one-stopper, medium and hard combination. Empire still yet to pit, but we'll expect to see Empire with around 14 or 13 laps to go, so around the lap 20 point, I would have thought, pitting and trying to bring these hard tyres all the way. But at the moment, the lead pace, really not there for Empire today. He's split the two Team Mega cars, but of course has yet to make his pit stop. And so if he were on target to win the race, he should by rights be in front of V8 Eater at this point. Run DMC in P3. Of course, all is not lost by any stretch of the imagination. There is still plenty of racing left to go, and mistakes can be made. Run DMC is in P3, but has been dropped by Empire at this stage. Christo running around in P4 with a decent amount of fuel and of overtake boost. using a little bit of overtake right at the very end of the straight to reach his VMAX there at the end of the straight. It's an interesting choice, I think. It's not something that I've seen a lot of. Most drivers using it as they go up through the gears to reach VMAX sooner and for longer down the main straight, but I'm very inexperienced when it comes to using the important boost here on the SF23s. AMAC, Jailhouse Chris is in the pits from the hard tyre, and we've got AMAC running in 5th place. You can just see Christo, I think. No, he can't. Scratch that. He's about to lap another car, AMAC. So waiting for his first pit stop as well, which will be coming soon, and the drivers will be heading in. Now, Nintendo still hasn't pitted with the damage on the front wing. I don't know if it's not particularly severe, the front wing damage, so he's not feeling it, but he'll be feeling it now for sure. And he's got that front left damage as well, perhaps taking that front left tyre a lap too long, but that's easy to say in hindsight. That's John P getting through and past the Buxton Transport Service driver. Nintendo down to 7th position. Unfortunately, you could see the state of the front left tyre already. He's also spent a lot of his boost, so Nintendo has been really hanging on to the back of this group with his fingernails, and unfortunately, at least one hand has slipped off that grip. So, yeah, limping home to the pits now, and will cost himself extra seconds in the pit stop to action the damage repair. Needs to go in, needs to get on those hard tyres, and I hope he makes it around into the pit lane without crashing into the pit wall, as I have done several times and did do before race day twice in practice. Jailhouse Chris is in 7th and manages to overtake, of course, Nintendo, who's in the pit lane at the moment. Nintendo running in P8 there, and I think will stay in P8 because Sir Grinch is just into the halfway point of the 3rd sector of this 18th lap. Apex Specs in 10th. We have Lucas de Brusque, who's recently been lapped, I believe, by a driver who's just circulating in front. That might well be the only Kimi's car of AMAC in the field. Weiss in 12th, and Kelvin, it's not looking good for Jan Placht Interiors at the moment, 12th and 13th position. Empire now pits, promoting Christo back with on lap 20 exactly. So Empire and Run DMC both pitting off the hard tyre. I wonder if AMAC and John P will follow them in as well, but that means that Team Mega are back into P1 and P2 of this S2 race. Empire emerging from the pits. His gap now, let me just check on this. So his gap is about a sector of the racetrack away from Christo. Both Christo and V8 Eater will be on the medium tyres at this stage. One stop appears to be the way to go racing here today if you started on either medium or the hard tyre. We're at lap 20 of the 33, and V8 Eater leading Christo, Empire, AMAC, Run DMC and Jailhouse Chris, your top 6 at this point. Here is AMAC and Run DMC. Run DMC defending hard against AMAC, and AMAC now on the hard tyres. Interestingly, Run DMC has switched to the soft tyres and might be two-stopping this one, perhaps looking at a hard soft. Say with a questioning inflection. AMAC was unable to live with the pace there immediately of Run DMC, but was certainly challenging at the start. Run DMC relying a little bit too heavily on the grip of those brand new soft tyres, as they both recently passed the Bro Cargo car. I think that might be Sir Grinch behind them. So Run DMC unlocking some pace at this point. V8 Eater has the fastest lap of 121.132, and I think you'd be surprised to see him go a great deal faster than that, as he is now on the hard tyre. Run DMC over the crest, then down the main start-finish straight, and pitching downhill towards the braking zone of this turn 1. AMAC on the hard tyres, on the old hard tyres, waiting for what he feels to be a comfortable situation to move on to the mediums. I think that point is now. I think that the medium should be quite comfortable on a lighter fuel load through to the finish of the race from this point. But he will have, of course, his main plan in his mind before the race, and I know that he has some fantastically quick colleagues in the Kimmy's racing team who will be advising him throughout the week on their planned strategy. So whether he has an engineer in his ear other than Hector as well is an interesting question mark, really, for each of our second tier teams. May not be getting quite the same amount of engineer help and love as the rest. There's a yellow flag on the circuit ahead of Jailhouse Chris. I can't quite see who that is affecting. And there you see also Nintendo has gone onto the soft tyres as well. So he's gone from the... I think he went from the mediums to the softs, but he's got a fully repaired car now, so should be feeling a little bit safer out there, and be feeling the lack of grip and the drop off throughout the course of this stint, but hopefully a little bit more comfortable than he was earlier on the mediums, with damage on the front wing for the majority of the race. John P, medium tyres for him, fueled to a finish as far as I can tell at this stage. Crackle from the exhaust as he goes off throttle deep into the corner, and we have Sir Grinch then. Now I think I misspoke earlier on, as Sir Grinch has got the white numbers, number 235 I think it is, yeah, 236 on the car. His teammate has the blue colours, I believe, on the car. We've got Apex Specs in 10th, Lucas de Brusque running in 11th, and Vice in 12th with Kelvin the Boss, teammate behind him. V8 Eater currently leading our race in the 999 and building his gap I think at this stage. His gap now easily a sector of the racetrack ahead of his teammate Christo. Where is Empire, our championship leader? It's right on board with Empire as he sets a personal best lap. He goes off in pursuit of at least Christo will be on his mind, with 11 laps to go then. Down through the gears, over the crest of turn 2. That's a difficult one, and you could hear the car slap back down onto the racetrack. Obviously Empire keen to push now that he's on the medium tyre on lower fuel. AMAC pits to bring the car home. I wonder if some drivers are thinking that the softs will go for the remaining portion of the race, which will be 10 or 11 laps depending on their position. Empire a little bit of oversteer on corner exit coming out of turn 5, trying to maximise the racetrack as much as possible, straighten up these long bends to minimise the steering angle required. See the halo in front of him. He won't be worried about that. You stop seeing it after a while in VR because you actually spend very little time staring straight out of the cockpit, constantly in the state of turning the head, more like this camera really, as we turn towards the forthcoming apexes. Nice and out wide, just lifting the left side of the car on the yellow curb on the way through on the approach to the final corner. Another personal best lap, this time at 22.4, and he's well, actually matching his very best from the previous lap as well. So very nice from Empire that time round. Run DMC again, another driver who's around a sector behind the next one. Big gaps at the front. V8 Eater ahead of Christo, Empire and Run DMC. Likewise with Jailhouse Chris. Fascinating how this track has spread the field here in S2 to such a great degree. I must say, hadn't really been expecting this one, as AMAC continues in that P6. I don't think that's his main rival behind him. It's not. Nintendo in P7. So here is the Kimmy's racing car. Let's get up close and enjoy the livery design of the Kimmy's car, shall we? Very highly detailed. I believe Solshock, the designer. Car number 122, I believe that is. But the number scheme is somewhat difficult to read. So yeah, very nice with the bubbles and all the details there on the Kimmy's Kimi's car. You've even got the S2 variant of this livery. Now, this is the original one with the sort of matte purple, and then of course the top division drivers have gone for a colour change, purple to gold paint scheme. Just running a little bit wide that time from AMAC, and he just allows the driver behind to catch him. I think that's one of the mega cars coming to lap again. It is. And that's the 999 of our race leader, V8 Eater, as he cycles through quite easily. Another yellow flag on the circuit in front. Who is that, do we see? Well, I think that was one of our... let me just check out. I want to say it was Kelvin, possibly. Let's have a look and see what happened to Kelvin. He did spin out here. In fact, it was quite a long accident by the look of things. Heading through turn 11 into 12 here. Slightly wide, but that is highly unusual to see. I wonder if there was a mechanical equipment failure in the cockpit there. He then tries to get back. There's a strange racing surface there. I think that might be part of the rallycross track, possibly, as he tries to get back on the racetrack. I think he was just being very sporting and making sure he didn't interfere with any other driver on the way through. So that was unfortunate for Kelvin the Boss. Very dirty tyres, having to huge hesitation, getting used to the hard tyres, and yeah, some difficulty there for Kelvin. I'm sorry to say. Let's go on board with V8 Eater and give away all of his secrets, shall we, at this point, as we see the kind of pace he's able to put in. He's got on the hard tyres here. He's wearing through that front left at an incredible pace, but a 22.5 is his best on the, 22.1 is his best on the hard tyre. And slowly but surely losing a 10th lap after lap at this point, but I guess that's down to the tyre wear, despite the fuel drop. All over the curb, going through turn 8 over, well, that's very close to a penalty, and a penalty is being applied then for his run through turn 9. Unfortunately for him, he won't be too worried about it, but it might just be the kind of nudge that a driver out a long way in front of the field needs, really, to just refocus on their driving and think, well, actually, do you know what, I'm taking a few too many liberties here. I certainly don't want to bin it. Yeah, let's just rein it in a little bit now. Certainly get to the point with the driver that can. We'll just see the message on the helmet of V83. It's one of the more unusual helmet designs. I think he adds new stickers virtually every race. Do get up close and personal and have a look at all of the all of the stickers on his helmet. He's actually shared it, the design out there, so you can have a look at it. Of course, wearing the Mexican flag V8 Eater on his halo. I think he is connecting to the US server, which is why you've got the USA flag against his name. That's kind of normal for Gran Turismo. Doesn't always attribute everybody's flags appropriately enough. Some interesting details on the front wing here of V8 Eater's car as well. I can see Unnerve on the front. It's not a brand I'm familiar with, but also some new graphics there on the front wing. I just want to get nice and close here because I think there are some new details on the just some local sponsors. A blue stripe as well, I think, down the car, or is that purple? Hard for me to tell at this stage, but yeah, certainly he's exploring some new options. I love to see the cancer support sticker as well. I think that might be the Unnerve or UN Nerve, I'm not sure, brand there, just above the M and below the Webbo con sticker. So there is V8 Eater and his new design. Let's just contrast that. Well, this is interesting me slightly. Oh, okay, so Christo has had an off. Christo has had an off and gone down to 3rd position, off camera, unfortunately, and he's got damage on the car. Now, there are only 6 laps to go, and Christo has had a problem, going to have to pit. Let's see if we can find out when that was. Ah, good, it wasn't too far ago then, as Christo comes through turn 5. He's got Empire not too far behind him. Oh dear, Oh dear. Okay, that was a car in front losing it, I think. Looked like Christo was going to lose it on his own, but maybe this was the yellow flag. Let's see. There is a yellow flag showing for Christo. He was obviously being cautious through that yellow flag period. Goes through turn 7, and there is a driver reversing across the racetrack. Christo, well, there's not much he could have done there. I mean, yes, he was already hesitating thanks to the yellow flag. Gets the opportunity, I don't know if he used that opportunity to gesticulate to our green and black Brokaga car, but that was very, very inconvenient for Christo. Let's have a look. I don't think it was Sir Grinch. I think it was Lucas. It was Lucas. So let's see what Lucas saw, unless he was an innocent party in the same incident. Lucas then comes through that same sector that we've seen over the crest. Okay, we've lost the car slightly. We lose it on our own, and then one car passes. Spin turn. Okay, all going to plan. Back to racing, and then a further spin from Lucas, but it's what happens next. Reversing across the racetrack, beaching the car. Wow, that is massive, massive incident from Lucas, and obviously recovering from an accident, but I'm sure he will be the first among those to put his hand up. But unfortunately for Christo, that is the loss of a third place. Could be even worse for him. Empire being gifted a second at this stage of the race with that 6 laps to go, plus the end of the one that they are on at the moment. That was a very, very big incident for him. So yeah, he'll be for Christo, that is. He goes into the pits. In he comes now, number 84. Damage to repair. He gets the opportunity to put a set of softs on, but thankfully for him at least, Jailhouse Chris is only just coming through turn 9 at this stage. So yeah, lots. This is definitely going to be something that I'm sure the stewards will be looking into post-race. But I've just checked my incidents and penalties notification, and there's nothing under investigation for this round from the incident. So I'm sure. I wonder if that will in fact happen, as Christo puts medium tyres on, and he will now exit the pits. So exiting the pits right here, and Jailhouse Chris is still only halfway down the start-finish straight. So Christo recovering back to 3rd position, but relative to Empire, he is miles ahead now, obviously more than a pit stop ahead. That's the kind of thing that could happen to anybody in our race. Just happening upon someone else's accident, having an accident of your own, as you lose focus or get fatigued in the car. This is V8 Eater, and he's passing a Brokaga. It's the same Brokaga of Lucas de Brusque there. So there would have been some team communication going on the Mega Radio. V8 Eater will have known, I would imagine, at this stage that there was a Brokaga incident, and to be doubly careful when passing. That's Amax P5 just approaching the same car now, and cycling through down the back straight here under the trees and in towards turn 10. And Amac then trying to find a good opportunity to pass Lucas, and I think Lucas obliging there by going out wide and possibly off throttle. So Amac able to proceed on his racing line through the next corner. So a big surprise then at the end of our race, with Christo losing 2nd position, but thankfully for him at least, not losing his chance at the podium. I don't suppose that while racing that will be a great deal of comfort, because a 1-2 for Team Mega was on today on outright pace. John P in 7th, and he's climbed nice and high from his start position of, I think it was 10th or 11th position. So John P putting in a good stint here. That's a little spin from Nintendo, just a half spin really, a spinella, as he rescues the car. So Nintendo just hanging on, and that's just someone pushing on new tyres. I think Nintendo on brand new soft, so he's stopped again. Then he's gone, I think, medium soft, and obviously had that difficult first stint. Come out on another set of soft tyres with 4 laps to go. So Grinch in P9. Wow, I just seem to be finding drivers who are having little moments there. I don't know, that might have been lag, but certainly the tyres were screaming as he goes through on brand new mediums as well. Seems like not the time to be on new tyres here in this race, as Apex Specs is about to get lapped, I think, from, I want to say that's Christo, until I get the numbers on the car. I think that's a 2-digit number 84 from Christo. Trying to make the pass as the blue flag is waving quite strongly here for Apex Specs and the Coach Dave car. Around the outside, still opportunity not there, so not a definitive lift or move aside from Apex. Let's see as they head on into turn 7. Apex very new to the SF23, normally a GT3 driver, operating the Audi R8 for Coach Dave. So on brand new tyres, this has got to be very frustrating for Christo. I think that is a move aside and a lift then from Apex Specs. Goodness me, that is yeah, not what you want to see. So it looked like a move aside and then a collision into turn 10. I really can't explain this one. So he goes down on the brakes and then I think has to have taken avoiding action. He wasn't anticipating Christo would be quite so slow into the corner possibly, and well, retaking the position after stepping aside. Couldn't be much further off the racing line through turn 13 into 14. What happens now here? Sorry, this is 14. What happens now? As he's actually using the overtake button at the moment, Apex Specs. I don't think he knows that this car is lapping him, because this is not the behaviour you would expect from a driver who is being lapped, to be using the boost to stay ahead of the driver currently in P3, struggling to the apex. So the car behind has managed to get through now. Tell me you're not going to go for it again. He is. Well, he's certainly creating a lot of doubt in Christo's mind, I think, there. So Christo, if he wasn't wide awake before with that impact, he certainly is now. V8 Eater in that first position and on his penultimate lap. Empire, likewise, about to start his penultimate lap, in fact, and picking up blue flags from the Yamplacked Interiors car. Here is Christo, finally able to put a gap then on Apex Specs in the Coach Dave car. Wow. Yeah. Quite a dramatic and very unpleasant final stint here for Christo, who I think possibly his focus has gone as he goes over the curb on the exit of turn 10, looking a little bit ragged, I imagine, feeling all kinds of feelings in the helmet, and Christo has got to feel like the universe does not want him to get this podium here today. Jailhouse Chris operating in 4th position, isn't too far away here. Now, looking at that, I'm really hoping that the Coach Dave car wasn't instructed or had the choice on his own to hold up Christo so that Jailhouse Chris could catch him. I really hope that's not the case. That would be in contravention of the rules. When you're fighting for position, it's fair game, but if you're a lapped car, you really can't be doing that. So let's hope that that's not the situation. Nintendo in 8th. So Grinch in 9th, Apex Specs in 10th position. Lots of cars together on track, but very few of them actually fighting for position into the final stages of this S2 race. There's Kelvin the Boss getting lapped. This is V8 Eater on his final lap. Now, oftentimes drivers will try to go for the fastest lap on their final lap, but V8 Eater is on the hard tyres. They're fairly well worn. He's also got a Coach Dave car in front of him. He goes through. I think this might be 4th place is Jailhouse Chris. I don't know if Jailhouse Chris would like to do one fewer laps today, but as things stand at the moment, V8 Eater looks to be on target to put a lap on Jailhouse Chris as they come through the penultimate corner. V8 Eater cycles through and V8 Eater exits out of the final corner under the checkered flag to win in Spain. and absolutely dominant display from V8 Eater once again here. Empire, you have to say, a little bit fortunate as he's about to lap his teammate, I think, John P. But yes, he's got to be feeling a little bit fortunate here to make the second step of the podium. But that's all important for the championship. It's going to reduce the degree to which V8 Eater catches him at this stage. Jailhouse Chris has crossed the line in 4th, AMAC in 5th, and Run DMC in 6th. We're waiting then, of course, after the drivers have been lapped to run through. John P in front of Empire then is going to cross the line, I think, in 7th position, as they'll finish together. And the Brocargo car has spun again, spinning again, and then reversing down to cross the start-finish line. I'm really not sure about that, I'm afraid. I'm really not sure that that's what we want to see from the drivers. Now, what happened to Lucas de Brusque as he comes through the final corner? I can't give him a tyre excuse. He spins, an overcorrection, a hit on the barrier, and then, once again, he's reversing into the path of other drivers while now reversing to a finish. Something I think we might need to look at in the league here, because that was less than ideal, certainly, and problematic for the drivers following. So Christo is going to come home and get that 7th position. I can see, well, in the post-race penalties, a warning has been given to one driver, and Apex Specs has been given a 10-second time penalty and 2 points for holding up Christo under blue flag. So we were just looking at that incident, I think, a few moments ago. No indication on anything from Lucas de Brusque at this stage. Run DMC has been issued a warning for an unsafe rejoin. Again, that's not the unsafe rejoin we saw earlier, but congratulations to our podium, V8 Eater, Empire, and Christo for bringing the cars home safely in the end. And Christo, bravo to him for actually making it to the finish after the incident. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. We'll be back with more from SVR very soon here on the channel. But for now, from me, Webbo, from everybody here at the Simracing, the VR Simracing World Championship, thank you for watching. I'm just going to pop the SVR merch QR code on the screen as well, so you can get hold of some last-minute Father's Day gifts or have a browse. Remember, if there's a design you think of and you want to get it, then do get in touch with particularly with Tequila Monkey, who will help out, I'm sure. And we will make sure that you can order your choice of design. But there is such a huge choice of merch available. In a moment, you'll see another QR code that will be for my merch. But from now, from me here at Webbo and from everyone at SVR, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you all on the next race day.